Welcome back to Team FastEddy. Today we're going to take a look at the Losi 5ive, which at this point has just hit the market. And we're going to walk you basically through, once it's out of the box, how to get it all put together and ready to go so that you can run it safely with as few problems as possible. For a lot of people, this is going to be your first experience with not only a fifth scale, but also with a fuel-driven vehicle rather than a nitro or electric. So there are quite a few things that we're going to want to go over, take a look at, so that you can get up and going as quick as possible, and also get going safely and not hurt any people or your vehicle. So you're going to want to kick back and relax and just watch this. You can follow through with your manual. We're going to basically go through the manual as far as getting it going, and we're also going to add quite a few little tips and tricks that only people that have been using gas and fifth scale for a while may know about. So there's a good opportunity to not only see the vehicle, but to learn. If you're an old hand at getting gas vehicles up and driving them, then it might be a nice refresher course for you. So kick back and relax. Go ahead and get your Losi out of the box if you have one, and you can follow through as we go along and go through our checklist and get everything up and going. So let's get rolling here. The first thing that we're going to do is open up your manual, and I suggest that you read it. You know, it's the first probably third of the manual is going to go through getting it up and going and adjustments and things that you should get and things that you should know about the vehicle. So do read the manual. It's pretty basic with information, but it does go through all of it, and we're just going to try to expand on it a little bit. So pull it out, get all the little pieces and parts that come with it all put together, and we're going to go. First thing that we're going to want to do is to remove the body from the vehicle. It's very simple. There's 4 pins and 4 screws. If you take a look at the front headlight here, just down underneath it, there is a body clip. Let's go ahead and pull that one out. And it's going to be the same on the other side. And they go into 2 posts that slide down. And we'll get more detailed shots of that when we pull the camera in later. Let's go ahead and turn the truck around and look at the back of the body. And you'll see the roll cage area here, and you're also going to see the 2 shocks. Just up above the 2 shocks are 2 more pins that you're going to want to go ahead and pull out. So there's a total of 4. They're nice, big, hefty pins, a little bit more solid than what we're used to with other vehicles. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to get out a hex driver, and hex drivers are included in your kit if you don't have any available. If you're going to be owning and driving a truck like this, you're not going to want to rely on the tools that you got with the vehicle. You're going to want to go out and get a good set of tools, which is going to also include an electric hand drill that we're going to be dealing with. Are nice long ones. They look like this. And there's 4 of them located on the bottom of the chassis. So as we turn this over, you're going to see that there are 4 holes, 2 on each side, located on the outside of the body pan. I've already taken mine out, but that's where it's located, and you're going to want to remove 2 on either side for a total of 4. The next thing that we're going to want to do is pull the body off. The body and the roll cage are one unit as it sits, and it secures in the rear to the bumper, which you can see these little stud units right here. So we're going to go ahead and lift off the front of the body, off of the posts, and the back is still going to stay on, so you're just gently going to rock it and pull forward until the body unit comes off. And as we inspect that, you're going to see that the roll cage is an integral part and a single unit which the body is attached to. Also is going to come off are your mud flaps. And the back and rear, the rear and the front bumpers are going to stay on. So first things first is go ahead and remove your body and set it aside. So at first glance you're going to see that it's mid-engine, mounted in the mid of a flat chassis. You have your pipe, you have your battery box, your throttle brake servo, steering servo, your radio, front and rear shocks, fuel tank, air filter. Those are just some key components that we have as we open it up. Get your body off. The very first thing that we're going to do here is to open up the radio box. At this point we've had a view of the full car, and I'm going to go ahead and move the camera in a little bit closer so that we can show some detail as far as what we're doing. So hang loose, we're going to get a better view for you. Alright, on the right side of the vehicle is the battery box. We're going to concentrate on this to start because you need to charge this battery before you really start to do anything else as far as adjusting electronics and whatnot. It's very simple to open up. There is a single long pin here. I'm going to slide that out and it encompasses both of the pin slots. We're going to take that out and set it aside and open up the radio box. If you do fidget around with it, it will come off. It's held on by 3 pins in the back, which just kind of snap in, and then the 2 on the front, or you can just lift it up to get your battery out. The truck itself comes stock with a 3000 milliamp 6-volt battery, which you can see here. Let's go ahead and pull it out. When you get it, I believe that it is disconnected, so you can pull it out, and if not, there's a little plug here. You can go ahead and just pull out the plug in. And it's a 3000 milliamp 6-volt nickel metal hydride battery, and it's completely sufficient for what we're doing here. And there's no need to run out and buy a new battery. However, there are several other batteries that are available that may be a better choice down the line if it's something that you're going to be driving. First thing we're going to want to do is charge this battery up. It comes with what we call a wall wart in the industry here, and you know, honestly, it'll do. You know, you can use it to charge the battery, but they're very dangerous, and just purchase yourself a very expensive vehicle. There's no reason that you should not go out and purchase, if you don't already have one, a better charger. And you're going to want to buy what they call a peak charger. And what this one does is you plug it in and it keeps charging until you unplug it. And if you forget about it, the battery can overheat and, yes, catch on fire. So we do suggest, if you use this, to plug it in somewhere, set it in a metal box or on a tray or somewhere, that if you do forget about it and it catches on fire, that it's not going to damage your house. So, you know, I can't stress enough how dangerous these wall warts are. We've heard story after story after story. But you have it. If that's all you have to get you going, let's use it. There's a little button on the back. You can unplug the power adapter plug, and it comes with several different ones depending on where you're located, and we're located in the United States. So if I were going to be using this, I would simply snap that on, plug in the battery, and I would assume I would plug it in the morning, somewhere where you can keep an eye on it and monitor it throughout the day by touching the battery and making sure it's not overly hot. As it reaches its end of charging, it might get a little bit warm. We charged this one up earlier using a higher quality charger, and the 3000 milliamp battery that came with it is a very good battery because it actually took closer to 4000 milliamps. which is also one thing I wanted to talk about, which means that this battery was almost completely dead, if not completely dead, when we pulled it out of the vehicle. So don't just try to turn it on and run your vehicle, because it's not going to be safe. I'm spending quite a bit of time on this battery because it is an important issue. Your car relies on electricity to communicate from the vehicle to your remote control, and without a battery, or with a low battery, you can very easily get a runaway, and it can hurt people very badly. So please pay special attention to your battery. Make sure you don't catch on fire using your wall wart, and do properly charge it. Once your battery is charged, you're going to go ahead and reinstall it. The first thing we're going to want to do is reach over and look at our power switch, which is located on the front side of the servo, and it's underneath a little silicone cover. So we're going to want to make sure that that is not in the on position, but is in the off position. So push it towards the inside of the car to make sure it's all turned off. As we plug the battery in, we're going to make sure that the black wire and the red wire are in the same position as the black wire and the red wire that's inside the battery box when you plug it in, so that there's not a reverse polarity in there. So you want to make sure that red goes to red and black goes to black, and that you're not in there opposite. The other thing that we like to do, and excuse me for not being prepared here, is to use a little bit of electrical tape. And what we're going to do at this point is to tape that connection together so that it doesn't rattle apart. You know, sometimes you can get vibration and it can pull these connectors apart and make them come unplugged while you're driving. So we're very simply just going to place some black tape over it. It's easy to get off, and it adds one more layer of security so that you don't lose power. I'm going to fold a little corner of that over so it's easy to peel off. So I put some black tape on that. I just do that out of habit with all of my easy connectors. There are two foam pads in the bottom. I suggest you use them if the battery that you're using allows for it. It's not too thick. Set those down. There's also a front to back battery spacer, which is foam, that you can put in there. It's already installed, and that's going to keep the battery from sliding back and forth. It came from the factory with the spacer in the front position, so that's where we're going to leave it. The battery box, as we're looking at it, if you're installing an even larger battery, it does have a removable tray, which makes the inside of that battery box much, much larger. If you're installing additional electronics later, such as kill switches or lighting controllers, there's a nice little container here for that. So let's set our battery in. We're going to set it in. We're going to route our wires down in front and to the side here so that it wedges that battery in nice and tight and it doesn't move, and it also protects the wires from getting pinched. At this point, we're going to go ahead and put the top back onto our radio box, or actually I should say our battery box. Make sure that it connects in the back. Push it down forward, and let's reinsert our pin. Alright, we've got the battery taken care of now. I'm going to go get a drink of water here because I got a dry throat, and we'll get moving on to the next portion of what we're going to get going here.